This is Cheyenne Valentine back today again with a new episode. In today's episode, I want to talk about single mothers. This is something that has been on, well, it really hasn't even been on my mind, but I've seen a lot of videos about this lately. So I guess this is a topic I need to hit. I do have a video stating that women shouldn't have kids out of wedlock, and I gave the reasons why you shouldn't. And you can go check that video out. It's further down. I did that video like a year ago. And so I more so try to warn women and try to prevent them from having kids out of wedlock. And so I'm not going to get into all that. Well, I am going to get into some of that now. But I never really just focus on single mothers. So let's get to this topic. My main question is, why do men dislike single mothers so much? It's a lot of men on YouTube that cannot stand single mothers. And what I don't get is that men are helping to make single mothers. So what are you upset about? And I know it was one particular guy on YouTube. I think his name is Minister Jap. He really can't stand single mothers. Now, the thing is with him, I'm not shocked though. I'm going to tell you why. Because he doesn't have any kids. So I kind of get where I think mainly his anger is coming from the fact that he doesn't have kids. And he don't like having to deal with women who have kids and the issues that come with it. And I think he's upset because he's in his 30s now and he's constantly running to women with kids, and he stays in Chicago. Chicago has a high there are some women who in Chicago. There are some women in Chicago who don't have kids. Okay, I'm from Chicago, and I don't have kids. So he probably just not running to as many as he like, that he's attracted to, that don't. And so I think I think it's just out of frustration. But at the same time, I don't even think he's ready to settle down. So if he's not ready to settle down and get married anyway, what does it matter if these women have kids? You're just trying to get laid anyway. Like, he's acting like he's trying to marry a woman. And so since he's trying to get married, he has to, also know if he gets with a woman with multiple kids, as the husband, he's going to have, be in the household with these kids, even if the father's paying child support, or even if the father helps the children out. Him being in the household with the kids, he still is going to feel some level of responsibility, obviously, towards those kids, being their stepfather. So, if he was coming from the standpoint of wanting to be married, I could see where the frustration comes from. But these men, some of they can't stand single moms, I don't get where it comes from, because most of these men, from my understanding, use single mothers for sex and don't even want to take them serious. So if you're preying upon them for sex because you feel they're an easy target and you're getting sex from them, why don't you like them? It's very odd. It's very strange. I remember a friend of mine, this was when we were like 17 or 18, me and him was walking, and it was two girls walking, and one he thought was pretty, and he went to talk to her and got her number. And he said, well, he wanted, I said, so, you got, I was like, oh, you got her number. He said, yeah. He said, I was going to try to date her. He said, but she has a kid, so I'm just going to try to have sex with her. This is exactly what he said, everybody. He said, at first I was going to date her and take on a date. He said, and he was like 17 talking like this. He said, but since I found out she has a kid, I'm just going to use her for sex. So this is, ladies, this is why I made the video, please don't have kids out of wedlock, because it's for your own good. I'm not coming down on women. I'm not putting all the blame on you, because obviously all the blame is not on you. It's the men. It's 50-50. Y'all both decided to have intercourse without protection or whatever, and a baby was created. So the fact that men are putting it all on the single mothers, I'm offended by that. And I don't even have kids, and I'm pissed off by this. So I'm telling you not to have kids out of wedlock for your own good, because this is how I know firsthand how men think. And they've been thinking like this since they were little boys, since they were in high school, So this is how they perceive women with children. They want to just use them for sex, and they don't a lot of times don't want more from them. Some do, of course, there's a lot of blended families, but we got to understand the level of how a man thinks. And there's no point of being upset about it. You have to counteract it until he changes and the system changes and the mentality changes. You have to protect yourself. We see these men are out here, these men are predators. They're preying upon single mothers. So you have to protect yourself. It's not to come down on you ladies and say, oh, don't have kids out of wedlock. Why would you do that? You're stupid. No, that's not where I'm coming from. I'm telling you for your protection, because I've heard several women say it's hard being a single mother. It's very difficult. So I'm trying to say this so you can protect yourself. I want to protect you from that, so that you don't have to deal with that. But I understand women, we biologically want to have kids. So of course, you know, if I was to tell every woman, wait till you get married to have kids, the only issue with that at the same time is that we got to have the men wanting to get married, because now a lot of men don't want to get married. So I'm going to get into all that in this video. So I'm going to try to make this video quick. So these men can't stand single moms, but yet these men help. I ain't gonna say create on their own. They help make single moms, because in my opinion, the woman and the man create single mothers. When the woman has a child with a man she's not married to, she created it, you know, she made herself a single mom, and he helped make her a single mom. He's helping make single moms because he's impregnating women and not marrying them and walking out. So the men and the women are making single mothers. It's not just the women. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And these men want to say, well, if you didn't want a baby, then you should make him use a condom. So she can, okay. This is what men don't understand. Did you ever consider men and these women want to have kids? Maybe that's why she didn't make you so-called put on. Why does she have to make you put on a condom if you don't want to have a child? You put on a condom is your responsibility. And yes, she's supposed to request you put a condom on, or you're not going to have intercourse with her. If you get with a woman and you guys about to have intercourse, and she says to you, I want you to put on a condom, you said no, and then she proceeds to keep having sex with you, just understand that she wants you to get her pregnant. So when she gets pregnant, because it's gonna happen, don't say shit. Excuse my language, but don't say shit. Because if she's not putting up a fight for you to put on a condom, she obviously wants you to impregnate her. Now let's go to you, sir. If you did not want a baby, why did you not put on a condom? Screw her. Forget what she want. You should tell her, no, I'm using a condom. And if you get with a woman who's demanding that if you get with a woman that's saying, I don't want you to use a condom, it's chafing when it goes in there. I don't like how it feels. You need to pull up your pants and walk out. That's your responsibility to not get her pregnant. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if she tricked you and maybe poked a hole in the condom and all this, and last said she was on birth control, then I can understand that happening. But even with the birth control thing, women have lied about being on birth control, and I do not condone that. Any woman that lies and says she's on birth control and she's not, she's a trifling piece of shit, in my opinion. This is the thing. It ain't no but behind that. She's a trifling piece of shit for deceiving him like that. In addition to that, the guy needs to use a condom, because some women do lie and say they're on birth control when they're not. So men, you have to use a condom for two reasons: because you don't want a baby and you don't want to get a STD. You don't know if she got something, and you don't want to get pregnant. And so then these same men are complaining about child support when you got her pregnant. You knew you did not want her. You knew that you did not want to marry her. You knew for you it was just sex. So why would you not use a condom? And you talking about it feel better without it. And your point is, it feels good for me to sit up here and eat all day too, but if I do that, I'm gonna get fat. So why would I do that? It doesn't matter if it feels better without the condom on. If you don't want to have a baby, this is what you got to do. It's called a sacrifice. Okay, so I'm tired of men complaining about child support when they're going inside of women without a condom on, and then saying it's her fault. And now it's both of y'all's fault. And like I said, when men say, well, why would she carry the baby to term and all that? Why I got her pregnant, and why is she having a baby? Because she wants a baby, idiot. She wants the baby. Because it's just like men have this high-ass sex drive and they want to have sex all the time, and that's like biological. Biologically, women want to have children. So just understand, sir, if you end up getting this woman pregnant, it's a huge possibility she's going to have that baby, even if the circumstance ain't right, even if she's not with you, even if you tell her you're not going to be around, even if you ask her to get an abortion. Biologically, she wants to have children. You have to understand, it's just like biologically you have a high-ass ravenous sex drive. Let's use some common sense here. Men irresponsibility towards the single motherhood thing and their dislike for single mothers is just disgusting to me when they're the one out here helping make them. I remember I had a friend, and she had intercourse, had sex with this guy, and I think they didn't use a condom. Wait a minute. Yeah, they didn't use a condom. I don't know why she didn't make him put on one. I don't know. So he some kind of way made a mistake. He didn't make a mistake, but he did the pull out method. He didn't pull out in time, and he ejaculated inside of her. And she was like, oh my God, you ejaculating inside of me. And you know what he said, everybody? He said, well, you better go in the bathroom and wash it out, or hurry up and pee and wash it out. Real nonchalant. That's what that bastard said to her. Now, see, if she would have got pregnant, he'd be like, I'm not taking care of that baby. That's not my, how I know that's my baby. Get an abortion. No. See, and then if she would have kept the baby, then he talking about, and then if she would have kept the baby and put him on child support, then she'd been all kind of BITCHs, and then she trying to ruin his life. But you went inside of her without a condom on. Both of them participated in it, and they know what comes out of not using a condom, not being on birth control. Both parties, the woman and the man. So what happens when the baby comes here, I don't see why the man is complaining, and why he has such a big deal, why he's so angry at single mothers. And if men really can't stand single mothers, why aren't they mad at the men for making them? Well, helping to make them. Why? They have nothing to say about the men who are impregnating these women and walking away. They have nothing to say to them. It's just all about it's her fault. Now let's talk about the marriage thing. I propose that women should only wait till they get married to have kids, because if the man marries you, it's a higher possibility. It's not 100%, dummy proof, but it's a higher possibility that if he marries you, he possibly loves you and is probably ready to have a family, and he's family minded. He might not want a kid right when he marries you. He might want to wait some years into the marriage, which I think you should wait some years into the marriage to even consider having a child, because some people are weirdos, and you can marry them and shit go flop, or they change, and you don't want to still have a baby with the individual. So I feel if a man marries you, he thinks that you possibly could be the one, and he's more, he's more family minded at that point. So it will, possibly if you have a child with him, your husband, it will maybe turn out a little bit better. Also, if you have a baby with a husband, if you all get a divorce, you can get alimony, of course, child support, and I think he would be a little bit more attached to the children. Opposed to if you have a child with a man who you would just, excuse my language, fuck friends with, and some dude you had a one night stand with, somebody you was a fuck friend with, if you get pregnant by this person, his feelings for you may not have been strong, and he wasn't family minded. So baby equals family in his mind, and money and responsibility, and he's more likely to walk out. Now you got to go chase him down for child support. So that's why I tell women that, and I also tell women, a man who doesn't marry you is not worthy of you carrying his child. I hope I'm saying this right. A man who doesn't marry you, he isn't good enough for you, to carry his child. Basically, I'm trying to say that if a man doesn't marry you, any man that is not willing to marry you is not good enough for you to carry his child. He's not worthy enough. The man child that you carry should be of your husband, somebody who decided to make you a wife and decide to provide and protect and be your husband and try to commit himself to you. That's the man. That's the child of the man. If I'm saying that right, that's the baby for the man that you get. I don't know if I'm saying this right. Basically, that man is the one that his child is the one you should be wanting to carry. Hopefully I'm saying that right now. The man who wants to marry you and be loyal to you and commit to you and provide and protect, that is the man whose child you should want to carry, not some person you would just have intercourse with who has not tried to commit to you. Why you want to carry his child? So that's why I tell women that those other men are not worthy. You can't, are worthy of you carrying his child. Like, you're too good to carry his child. He's not worthy enough for you to try to bring forth his seed. He's not a provider. He's not a protector. He's not committed. He's not a family man. Why would you want to carry his seed anyway? So that's what I tell women. And hopefully that can lower the chances of them being single moms if they get married first. But the issue is that you tell women to wait to marriage. I think a lot of women would not have a problem with waiting to marriage. But look, women, we have a biological clock. Okay. So we have to get married earlier in life. Now, here's the kicker. The men don't want to get married in their 20s, and some of them don't even want to get married in their goddamn 30s. So now we have a problem, because if you tell women to wait to get married to have kids, you got to have men who want to get married. And you got to have men that want to get married. Well, they don't have to be in their 20s to marry a 20-year-old, but most women want to be with men their own age. So now women have to go for older men, probably the men in their 40s and up, when she's in her 20s, in order to be able to get married and have children in her 20s. Because once again, she has a biological clock. that's ticking. The man can, have kids up until, I don't know, his 60s, maybe his 50s. And he can impregnate different women who are younger and still have children. Women, our eggs age with us. So we have a time frame. So we got to get married and have kids younger. And the man, he can wait a little bit longer to get a family and settle down. So that's why they tell women to date older men. And I agree with that. If you're ready, if you want to get married and have children, you have to date older dude. Because the dudes your own age, these dudes are the dudes that are your own age when you're in your 20s and 30s, they immature as fuck. Excuse my language. They immature as hell. And they ain't about nothing. And they ain't got their money together. They ain't got their mind right. They're not family oriented. They in they whore stage trying to sleep with all these different women. They full of shit. So you got to kind of go older. You're gonna have to. It's like, because, and then on top of having to go older, now you got to still have a large population of men who want to still be married. Now a lot of men don't want to be married, so this is still going to be a problem with the single motherhood. And I'm just still trying to figure out why these men are so mad at single mothers, why they can't stand them. It's just such as a single mother, they can't stand. I heard one guy say he doesn't date black women, and he's black because a lot of black women have children. I get what he's saying, but a lot of black men have children. A lot of black men impregnate women and walk away, or they impregnate them and don't stay with them. Like my thing about it is too, men think just because they impregnate a woman and they pay child support or they just take care of their kid and they're not with her, that okay, that's good enough. That they think they're not participating or helping to make single moms. But no, you are, sir. When you sit up here and impregnate 5 different women, even if you're taking care of those children, which is what the hell you're supposed to do, the fact that you're having kids with different women, you have not married none of them, you're not in the household with none of these women. So all the kids are being brought up in the 2-parent in separate homes. Basically, they come to you on a weekend and the mother have them during the week. You're not in the household 5 days a week with this child. The fact that you are doing this, even though you take care of your kids, you are helping to create single mothers. Men just think just because they impregnate a woman and they break up with her and they take care of their kid financially, that's good enough for the society. It's a lot of men that's doing it, that's not with the woman no more, and and take care of the kid, I'm assuming. And look how the community is. We need you men to be in the house, so we need you marrying the women that you're going to impregnate. So the women that you impregnate should be your wife. And right now, what the state of the black community, we should not even be thinking about polygamy or whatever that's called when it's one man and multiple wives. That is just, you can't even afford one wife and taking care of her and that child. Or taking care of your damn stuff, so now alone having multiple wives. So just scratch that off the list. Okay, we got to start at ground zero right here before you tell me I want multiple wives, because if that's the case, then women should have multiple husbands. I'm not trying to hear that dumb shit. You just want to have more than one woman to screw, but you want the women to know about each other. You don't want to have to hide the shit. We're not talking about people being whores and all that. I'm talking about a family structure. And what I'm saying is, these men should only be getting pregnant. These men should only impregnate women they're married to. And it should be one woman. Now, they might get a divorce and marry another woman and get her pregnant. Okay, fine, whatever. Divorces happen. But I'm saying you should not be having children with a woman you're not married to. And so now we have to reinstate the marriage system. Men now need to want to get married. A lot of men don't even want to get married now. So that is a problem, because the women still want to have children. Even though the men don't want to get married, women still biologically want to bring forth life. That's how you procreate the species. You have to bring forth life. So it's biologically, a lot of us want, and like I said, I don't have kids, but I'm saying biologically, women naturally a lot of women want to push out a child. They want to have a child. That's how you procreate the species. So if I tell women to wait to get married, okay, they'll be down for that. But first of all, they have to do it earlier in life to have the kids before, it's too late, or before it's a high-risk pregnancy. And they also have to have a man that's willing to marry them. A lot of these men don't want to get married now. So when men talk about this single motherhood, this is a slippery slope. You got to address both fucking genders. I'm tired of just being on the woman. Both people, the male and the female, are both responsible for single motherhood. It ain't just the woman, it's both of them. The women are having children with men they're not married to, which is a mistake, and the men are impregnating women that they're not married to and walking out on them, and that's a mistake. We got to bring back the institution of marriage and the importance of marriage, and we have to bring back the fact that you should be having a child with a woman that you're married to. You should only be having kids with a person that you're married to. You see what I'm saying? That is the problem, because the child deserves to have both parents in the household raising them. not in separate homes. You know, things happen, divorce happens and all that, but I'm saying they deserve both parents in the household giving them attention and love. Okay, in the household, they wake up and go to bed knowing their mom and dad is in the other room. They need that. They need that security, that love, that nurturing. So I just want to say, you know, in this video, I don't understand why so much dislike and anger towards single mothers when men help create single mothers. Can someone explain this to me, where this anger and just this I don't know what you want to call it. It's just they just keep pointing, stop having kids out of wedlock. Well, tell the men to stop impregnating women they're not married to. I mean, you know, both of them are to blame. The woman and the men, they're both to blame. And I'm tired of just putting it on a woman. And then also, where is such this anger towards single moms? Where is this coming from? Why aren't the men mad at the other men for impregnating these women and walking out? Because, sir, by these men impregnating all these women and walking out, when he's gone and you meet her, now you're going to be stuck with this woman with these kids by this man who ain't shit. And now you mad because if you want to mess around with her, she wants you to play a surrogate father and you're upset. But you have nothing to say about the men who walk out on their responsibility. You have nothing to say about them. You're not upset at them. You're not saying, hold on, we need to change this culture. You should have been using a condom, dude. Like, you need to take responsibility, dude. You don't have nothing to say about that. You're just blaming her. Yeah, she's 50. It's 50-50 depending on how it went down. Like she tricked him, and I mean, even if she lied, said she was on birth control and she wasn't, he still should have been using a condom. So I mean, to me, it's 50-50. They both. Like I said, a woman wants to have a kid any damn way. So when a dude impregnates her, she's probably going to carry the child to term because biologically she wants to have children. I mean, what part don't men understand this? And then if you didn't want, and then men complain about child support, well, if you was to marry the woman you impregnate and took care of your child, you wouldn't be on child support. She's only put you on child support when you're not staying with her and raising the child, or when you once again aren't with her and you don't even give her money for the kid. So if you're not giving her money for the child, why you think you're supposed to be able to impregnate a woman and not take care of your responsibility? See, men got spoiled because they can impregnate a woman and then walk away. You'll never know he had a kid because the woman carries the child. So men now are cowards, and it's nothing keeping them to the woman. Like, you know, once he gets her pregnant, he can literally disappear. And so it's nothing attaching him to her. So he's taking advantage of the fact that she's the one that carries the child for 8 months. And, you know, when he has a baby on the way, you have no way of knowing because he don't have a big belly walking around here. Okay, so he's taking advantage of the fact that he can impregnate women and no one would ever know that he has a child on the way. He can take advantage of that. And that's what they're doing. This shit needs to be stopped. These men, there needs to be a penalty other than child support for them having kids out of wedlock. Something needs to happen. I don't know what. The child support thing is really good, stopping these individuals, but it's like it's not enough because these men are still doing it. They're still having kids out of wedlock and walking down these women and helping to make all these single mothers.